Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the top teams for the Retro Cup. This cup is going to be available next to the Master League for 1 week now. And it's usually a very fun cup. It's going to not allow you to run any Steel, Dark or Fairy type Pokemon. Those are all going to be banned. And currently at the point of recording, and most days also for most people at the point of watching, the official rankings on MasteryPoke are not out yet. But I maybe was able to fix that for this video a little bit. So let's take a look at that. Take a look now at the meta. What I had to do here, because of course there's still no official ranking yet for this cup, is of course can do like your custom ranking. If you don't know what it is, it's going to be in the ranking section. You can do your own custom rankings. Of course, I can just exclude some types, and we're gonna end up with a nice list here. We're gonna see as well like what kind of Pokemon are good with it, would like against it, basically, which Pokemon you're gonna beat. And yeah, I took this kinda, it is a different format here than what you need, but I was able to put it into an actual ranking in my own version of MasteryPoke. It's not everything perfect here with that either, but it's kind of a good idea at least on what it's going to be happening here. There's sometimes some mistake where like a few moves I'm missing here, for example for Auroras, just didn't translate correctly for me. But yeah, basically this is going to be kind of the meta that you're going to encounter. A lot of the things here that you're going to see is what I expect as well. Of course, some Pokemon are going to have a little bit of a lower ranking. There's some bits that MasteryPoke can tweak themselves, but you're going to see Pokemon like Primeape for sure. Jumpluff going to be very good in a meta that is currently going around just because it's a very strong Pokemon itself. But one of the best meta breakers and the Pokemon that's going to be most likely one of the most commonly used Pokemon is, in my opinion, Ferret. Ferret is going to have a unique spot, having Sucker Punch as the premier fast move for this Pokemon, which hasn't been the case really the last time this cup was on. Like, Sucker Punch was already buffed, but Ferret wasn't great yet because it didn't have Swift or Trailblaze yet. And I was already running Ferret in this meta the last time that this was around, which is half a year ago. And it was still already great with Brick Break and Hyper Beam. Now this Pokemon is Swift and Trailblaze, which is going to make it the top meta Pokemon. Ferret is what you kind of want to play, for sure. But also other Ghost-type Pokemon, of course, here with the recent Astonish buff going to be better with Dusknoir and the Corsola. I think Corsola just got released or something like this when the last time this cover was around. Ursaring, mostly a little bit higher ranked, but still going to be a good Pokemon with the typing as well as just generally the coverage it has. You have Oranguru, which was before basically the most safest Pokemon that you can run because there was nothing that can counter it, as Dark types and Steel types are both banned, which are the main answers to Psychic type Pokemon, other than other Psychic type Pokemon, but here you have access to Brutal Swing, which beats those. So Oranguru still is going to be strong, but this is like one of the main reasons why I think that Ferret is going to be the most common Pokemon in this meta, because it's going to be so strong against Oranguru. Machoke, of course, going to be not that great, most likely, but it's still up there because it's great in calculations. I think Aurora still has some play. Galate is most likely has some play as well in the current meta, having great coverage against the current meta here for sure, beating other fighting type Pokemon, and still having options against like water types as well, which are going to be very good, like Jellicent, like the Lapras. What's called the Feraligatr are going to be very strong here. A few Pokemon that are a little bit more interesting down here as well that are going to be good, like Tuttle, which I don't think is going to actually have that play, but apparently it's good on paper. Interesting, don't think it's going to be actually that great. But yeah, I basically was able to do all of this, and with that as well, I was able to, for example, here make my own meta, and yeah, was able to calculate the stuff for the video. Hopefully you enjoy that. Yeah, the video today as well was a ton more effort because I had to do all the rankings myself and stuff like this, and I had to read into this a little bit first. Gonna be a little bit better the next time I have to do them as well. I have more knowledge now as well for it, but let's move on to the first team. So after the unofficial rankings that I just showed you, we're going to have some teams here that at least I was able to also kind of calculate against the current meta that I was assuming. Again, could mostly do a little bit of fixing towards it a bit as well for the future, but still this is going to be already a good indicator on how good these teams are going to be, what problems this team is going to be having. And here we're going to have the first team, which is going to be more of a classic superior Talonflame core, which is still going to be very strong in this meta. Going to have great coverage here as well, this team against Ferret, which I was saying already is going to be one of the most common Pokemon. You're going to have a lot of play with this team. Like, there's just a lot of play with this team. I actually like the idea of having Leavanny in the back, by the way, which is going to be a nice anti-meta pick and also going to have super effective coverage against those Ghost-type Pokemon, but also then having great coverage against other Grass-type Pokemon, which is going to be great, or even against Oranguru with the Axeter. So I think Leavanny actually has a lot of play in this meta, by the way. Here, Core Breaker may need Emolga. Emolga beats basically every single Pokemon here. You can run Ferret as a Say-Stop, by the way, for this team as well, which would help you out with that. You can also use Credilli in the back instead of the other two grass types, which helps out again with a weakness to Emolga. Another weakness here is going to be the Toxapex. While on paper it beats every Pokemon here, it's actually not that clear, because with Brave Bird on Talonflame that they get before they can go for Brine, you're going to be able to either force a shield or get a ton of damage already on them, and then you can ramp up your damage with the Primeape, or go for the Ferret, which is going to be a very neutral matchup then, and even like the Superior does a ton of damage against this Pokemon, so this is not the biggest issue. Moving on, we're going to have here, that looks a bit weird or whatever, but like we're going to have here a team with Jumpluff, and there's a lot of different options on how to play that. They're all kind of functioning a little bit differently. I think Feraligatr is the best option for you with Auroras in the back. As you will see here, the only real weaknesses for this idea is going to be the Toxapex as well as the Tentacruel. Those are going to be very tough for us to beat with this one. Going to be a bit easier for you to beat them with the Say-Stop of Glade, because you have fast move pressure, that's super effective, but you have like the Leaf Blade spam, which is going to be great. Doesn't mean that's going to be the best matchup ever, but if you run Lapras, for example, in the back as well, you're going to have better coverage against those Pokemon as well, but then again, a little bit like weaker coverage against Pokemon like a Drifblim, which might be then a bit of an issue, but generally speaking, Auroras actually has a lot of play. Aurora is going to be as soon as a Shadow Pokemon when this cup is out already as well, so I'm definitely going to take a look at this. But yeah, this is going to be it for team number 2. I think it's going to be a great team to run. It's going to be a team that is around Auroras, which is a Pokemon I love to play, and we can now move on to team number 3. Team number 3 here is going to have the Dusknoir, or Shadow version here, with Astonish, Dynamic Punch as well as Shadow Punch. We're going to have the Say-Stop of Arctibax as well. Again here, we have Steel types as well as Fairy types banned in the current meta, which allows you to have Dragon Breath, doing always at least neutral or super effective against other Dragon type Pokemon damage. There's no resist for Dragon Breath. There's not a single Pokemon that can resist this move. So yeah, Dragon type Pokemon going to be quite a bit stronger here. We have the Diggersby in the back. We're going to be able to bait out potential like Flying type Pokemon with our Say-Stop. We have a good answer with that as well. In the lead we have Astonish here doing a lot more fast move pressure. And then we have Diggersby as our bulky tank in the back that still has a lot of great matchups against the current meta. As you can see on paper, it looks really cool. Apparently Lapras is going to be a tough Pokemon for us to deal with, which I highly doubt. As we still have Dynamic Punch in the lead. We have Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw being neutral against it. It is not a bad matchup, and so I don't really have a difficult matchup for this team. I think this team is just solid in general. I don't think there is anything that you have to be worried about. Team number 4 is going to be a bit more, I don't know. I just like Dragonite. Dragonite is really cool. As I said before, Dragon type Pokemon don't have a resist. And while it looks not that great on paper, this team, it is really good in the 2-shield scenario. Calculate this team in the 2-shield scenario and you're going to see that this team is going to be very, very strong. Could it be a bit better? I could see that like maybe a normal type could help out a bit against like those ghost type Pokemon, which are just very neutral against this team currently. Yugong most likely is a bit worse than it was the last time around this cup was around, because you have better coverage against this Pokemon with Dusknoir and Ferret, as well as of course Corsola with the rock moves that it has. But I still think that the Jellicent, the Yugong backline together with the lead of Dragonite is very, very good. Keep your shield for Dragonite, have some bulk in the back, and I think it's going to be a great team to run in the current meta. Yugong here more as a Say-Stop and more to bait out Pokemon as well, like the normal types that you don't want to face with your Ghost type in the back here. And we kind of can play this team also in reverse. Again, as said before, there is no weakness to Dragon type Pokemon. There is just no weakness. You could use also Auroras in the lead, maybe makes you a bit better against other Auroras, because Auroras is the only real Pokemon that can answer this team properly. Even like Lapras again here, we're going to have Thunder Punch on Goodra. They have to go to the Ice Beam in order to do enough damage. We actually, I think, outspeed them to the Thunder Punch with that one. We do a ton of damage. It is not really a big issue. The rest is just neutral, like Ferret neutral, Dusknoir neutral, Primeape neutral, Dragonite is going to be good against. Like 2-shield scenario, again, going to show you a little bit more than the 0-1s. Dragon Breath users just, are just better in the 2 shields basically, or like even the 1 shields is a 0-1 average. They're just going to show a little bit better than they actually are. Trust me, Dragon Breath is going to be very good in this meta. Next team here is going to be, I think, the safest team you can run. We have Ferret, we have Grumpig, we have Oranguru. This seems maybe like a little bit of a weird team on paper, but to be fair, you have a Pokemon in the lead. It's going to be great against Ghost-type Pokemon. We have the Say-Stop, where it depends on what you really want to have here. Like, if they are having like a Ghost-type or whatever, you could even go Oranguru Say-Stop. It's kind of up for debate, to be fair. What I like about Grumpig Say-Stop is Grumpig has coverage against other Ferrets, which allows you to win late game with Oranguru, which I like about it. The only real awkward matchup here is actually the Araquanid, because it has super effective coverage against both our Pokemon in the back and has still a solid matchup against our lead. But the rest, look at this, is looking amazing. Like, this team looks absolutely amazing. And you can play out matchups in the lead as well. You still have the normal type in the back here to counter the ghost types for the what's called Grumpig. And again, there are no steel or dark type Pokemon, so you will never going to be in a scenario where Psychic type damage is going to be bad for you, because yeah, the only Pokemon that can resist Psychic type is Psychic type Pokemon. And with that, we are going to have here basically a team again that, even though it doesn't look that safe with the backline, it is quite safe. The only thing again is that Ferret maybe is also a bit good against you offensively, but you have still good coverage. Like, Ferret not going to be able to take down your entire team on its own. So that's going to be it for this turn, and we can move on to the next one here. Also for the back, by the way, you can use Machamp in order to counter Ferret a little bit more. We're still having the Psychic typing, but again, you can also use other Pokemon, like other Fighter. It's very, very neutral. Like, you can play a lot of Pokemon with Ferret Grumpig basically here, but I think it's a great quad to run in the current meta. Team number 7, again, I don't really find a Pokemon that can really beat this that great. Like, literally, like, look at this. Like, I cannot see really a Pokemon that's really a great core breaker here, especially with the Oranguru. If you run Pidgeot in back, Pidgeot has some potential to be good endgame as well. But then again, it's going to be a bit tough against Electric type, like a Molga. A Molga could be a bit of an issue then. But against the Oranguru, I think this is kind of a very solid team. Toxapex is very good, just neutrally. And then you need some answers for Ghost types, and we have 2 of them in the back for that. So yeah, Ghost types are the main weakness to Toxapex, other than, I guess, like Ground types, which is why we have Pidgeot in the back as a potential option as well. This team should be working out pretty well. Like, Toxapex has a lot of potential here. Very cool Pokemon, very nice neutrally. Just doesn't want to face Grumpig, which you have 2 Say-Stops for, or the or just any ground type Pokemon, which you're going to have also good coverage with Trailblaze and Trailblaze. Next up, team number 8, we're going to have a team that I liked the last time around this cup was around, where we have Marowak lead, we have Say-Stop here Ferret, not really Ferret. The last time around we had Licky there, but Licky actually has some play here, because it's good against all the ghost types, but Ferret just does Licky's job a little bit better in my opinion. But yeah, again, as you can see here, it's going to be a great combination. Marowak is going to be very good in the 2-shield scenario. You want to use your shields on that Marowak. That is where you want to use your shields, because it's just going to be able to beat nearly everything in the 2-shield scenario. Not so much in any other shield scenario. You have a weakness to flying type Pokemon with that one, so you have Dugong on the back for that. You have Ferret as your Say-Stop, which is going to be very neutral. Just difficult matchup is if you're going to encounter a fighting type basically in the back. But then Ferret going to generate energy quite fast, and it's going to be a great bait for that. So it still should work out quite fine, I would say. Team number 9, we're going to have a team here that we kind of played like this in the last meta as well. I just looked through like videos that I had on which kind of worked out well. And Gligar honestly was kind of cool, especially with Fairy Cutter, because it's going to allow you to generate energy fast. And the combination of Night Slash and Aerial Ace is great in the meta. Aerial Ace for Primeape, Night Slash for Dusknoir, or Corsola, or Grumpig, or Oranguru, where we also then for Oranguru have Fury Cutter. So like, you have a lot of potential there. You can also go for Wing Attack, but I just kind of want to showcase that Gligar actually has some potential in this meta. Is it as great as it was before? Most likely not. But if you ramp up energy with this Pokemon, it can punish Pokemon like left, right, and center. Like, look through the Pokemon they have here. Most of them are either weak to Dark or the, the Flying type coverage, which is really, really cool for it. The only weakness for this team kind of here is currently the Drift Bloom. If you have energy up, you're going to be fine with every Pokemon as well. That's literally it. And we're going to move on to the final team here. We're going to have, a team of Gastron and Goodra, as well as the Talonflame. This is going to be very kind of similar to what we have in the first one, but like a little bit reversed. And like, we use a water type combination together with Talonflame, which is also kind of nice. Like, Talonflame is so cool because it can function quite well with both water as well as the grass typing. Grass is better in order to counter the weaknesses of Talonflame, while water needs more the coverage that Talonflame provides. And so, yeah, this is going to be a very solid team. The only real weakness here is going to be the Credilli, which is going to be good against Talonflame as well as Gastrodon. The rest is going to be fine. And with that, this is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. It was, again, a lot more work this time around because I had to completely do the entire meta myself. But this is going to be what you can expect for this meta. Cool meta to come from. Again, this is not the final ranking. There are going to be some Pokemon that's going to be high up that you didn't see here today, because you have to kind of maneuver some Pokemon around. I have to look a little bit more into the code for that one as well. Haven't figured out all of it. Took me quite a bit to figure out all of this so far. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.